What's good? Welcome back to another edition of Dat Talk Podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host with me.
Hey man, y'all see the hat. So this is last year's championship hat, right? I expect to have a new one this year. That's just how I feel.
That's how you feel?
That's how I feel. That's how I see it.
That's how you see it, especially after these major moves. You know, DJ Khaled say major key. We have some major moves going on in the NBA. We said it last week that Aldridge and Drummond was going to be on the market. It didn't take but nothing but a few days for them to find places, some new homes. How do you feel about Aldridge and Drummond going to their new teams? How do you feel about Aldridge to the Nets, Drummond to the Lakers?
So I'm gonna start with Aldridge, and I'm gonna let you bring in on Aldridge. Aldridge to the Nets. Interesting. I like it. I mean, I feel like it's a bigger deal than them getting Blake because I feel like he does more on the court. I feel like he's just more proficient at what he does than what Blake is currently doing at this juncture of his career. I'm happy for Blake. He looks happy. He'd actually got a couple of dunks, so I'm happy for Blake. I just believe that the Nets is doing everything they can to stop LeBron from getting another ring. That's just kind of how I see it. I feel like they're doing everything they can. They trying to stack the deck, and I feel like what needs to be more talked about in this Nets situation is the fact that James Harden is starting to look like the best player on that team. So Kevin Durant is about to be in another situation where legacy-wise, people always going to do this. Because I feel if they make it, and we'll touch on that later, if they make it, James Harden is going to be the key that they win. And that's just to me, because he's the engine that stirs that. He's the straw that stirs the pot. And I feel like Aldridge, they said he's a better interior guy because he's supposed to be at the 5 and, they're going to play some small ball and do all that. But, I feel like they still got a problem. And I'll touch on that problem later. So what's your take on Aldridge to the Nets?
Aldridge to the Nets is scary because of the versatility he helps provide for them. Making them smaller, more agile. He can play the 5. He can stretch you out a little bit, shoot a couple threes, shoot the mid-ranges very well. And he can, if you got to get inside, he can get some, some big man buckets if he have to. But having him on your team is not a bad thing. I just don't know what Aldridge you're going to get because he is coming off an injury. He was injured for a while with the Spurs, and then the Spurs just wasn't happy with him. He wasn't happy with them, and they parted ways, and they let him go, and he got up out of there. But here's my thing, though.
Okay. I feel like this is a big hot take. I feel like
I don't know if you want to call it a hot take, but here's my thing. There's a little thing you want to call. I want to call too much, right? Too much can be a little bit bad for you, in my opinion. I feel like you already got 3 of the most prolific scorers on the team. You have solid role players coming off the bench, doing their job, and you continue to add to this nucleus, right? And now you don't even have KD still. And so you really don't know what kind of Brooklyn Nets team you have. They really play well when it's 2 superstars and the role players. Now you about to add all-star coming off an injury. And you about to have KD, who's another superstar coming off an injury. And you about to try to mix all that mixing pot all together. It sounds good on paper. It really do. It really sounds like the Nets look like the contenders to beat. You get what I'm saying? But what happens is when you have too much, sometimes too much is the wrong thing for winning, in my opinion. Because now you got Aldridge who's going to have to need touches to get in the rhythm, right? Now you got KD who's going to have to need touches to get in the rhythm. You got Kyrie who's going to have to need touches to get in the rhythm. I know people always talk about they can move the ball, but these are not – a lot of these players are not off-ball players. They are possession ball players. Yes, they can move without the ball and they can score, but they get in the rhythm by having the basketball in their hands. I just don't know how is it going to mesh. And that's my only thing. On paper, the Nets are dangerous. But I really have to see them play, and I really have to see how it's going to be, because now you got bench role players who play a significant role in playoff play. They may not be getting enough minutes. So how are you going to expect for them to come off the bench when their minutes is limited? What are you going to have, like an 8-man rotation, a 6-7-man rotation? Minutes are going to get cut. You get what I'm saying? I just don't know how it's going to work out and how it's going to play. But I will say, I will agree, James Harden is the key to the Nets. James Harden is the guy who's going to help the Nets get over the hump, because he's making that team so much better. Well, his ability to be a floor general for that team, he is selfless and he can score and he plays in spurts. I feel like this is a new evolve of James Harden, right? Where he's taking his game to another level. He knows we have an opportunity to get to the NBA Finals and possibly win. So I have to sacrifice some things. If it's going to be some nights where I got to get 21 assists and 10 points, I'm going to do that. If I got to get 30 or 40 points and maybe 8 assists, I'm going to have to do that. But the only thing is, it looks good right now when the captain's not playing. What's going to happen when the captain comes back? How are you going to play? How are they going to mesh? How are things going to flow? It's a lot of unanswered questions, but it looks good. They look good. They do look good. But anyway, we'll talk about them moving in later into the show. But how do you feel about Drummond to the Lakers, man?
Listen, I started the show by saying, you might as well go ahead and give us a little shit. Fully healthy, we're a problem. Only thing I'm concerned about right now is health. That's the only thing that gives me cause for pause. Fully healthy, we're a problem. Because we got to think about this. The Lakers were a problem last year. They were a problem. And they wouldn't consider like a deep team overall.
Yeah.
Once the playoffs evolve, you start saying like, oh, okay, Caruso can do a little bit. KCP game stepped up. You know, we had Rondo and Danny Green and all that good stuff, McGee and Howard. So that looked good. So head to this season, we talked about how much more dangerous the Lakers became because they added Schroeder. So Schroeder is a better Rondo to me because he can really score the rock, and he still is going to give you that fight, that tenacity, that energy that he brings on the court.
Did you say Schroeder is a better Rondo? Did you really say that?
Yeah, I said a better at this age and at this point in their careers. Like a young Rondo will give Schroeder a run for his money. You know what I'm saying? Rondo's older, Schroeder's younger.
Okay.
You see what I mean? There's no shade to Rondo. I appreciate what Rondo did for the Lakers. Playoff Rondo was real, and I appreciate it. I just hope that this year he has no success in the playoffs because he plays on the Clippers. But that's neither here nor there. So I like the youthfulness Schroeder brings. I thought Wesley Matthews would really be placing Danny Green, but more like THT is kind of replacing Danny Green. It's like Caruso and THT is taking on a Danny Green role. I like Trez is starting to find his own. I feel like Morris is finally starting to come back around to the Morris that we signed. And now you add Drummond. Drummond is Dwight and JaVale combined. That's a better offensive player. Drummond for his career has the highest, listen to this, has the highest rebounding rate in NBA history. Now we know we're talking great rebounders, the Duncans, the Rodmans, Russells, Kareems. You go on and on. Andre Drummond has the highest rebounding efficiency rate in NBA history. And if you really people ain't had a chance to really pay attention to Drummond in Cleveland because it's Cleveland. But his offensive game has picked up. he was averaging 18 and 13.8 points. They're 18 points, 13.8 rebounds, just right now in Cleveland as a solo act, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So now with the Lakers, man, he's about to create extra possessions because he's averaging about 4.6 offensive rebounds a game. So that means that's, and you know what offensive rebounds do. Offensive rebounds either dunks, offensive rebound kick out for a three. And so he just allows Anthony Davis to damn near have to play the four all the time. I don't see a situation, because I heard it today, I think on First Take. It was the First Take or one of the shows, where they said Drummond can't play against all teams. But when I look at the West, I say there is no small ball Rockets. So when we play the Jazz, he's going to be in there against Gobert. When he play the Suns, he's going to be in there against Aiden. When he play Denver, he could be in there against Jokic. Portland, he could be in there against Nurkic. And so the Lakers, to me, need to treat teams how the Spurs did. Why should they downsize when they got the advantage as a big team? That's how I look at it. Drummond and AD together should end games. End games with it. Because you got to figure out how to make sure that you can stop us. Because I feel the Lakers are going to get stops. But can you stop us? When you're small in the paint, that means AD and Drummond get the rebound. That means you got one shot. The Lakers should be focused on one shot and then going to the opposite end and just being bigger than everybody. Forget this new age basketball. Lakers need to go to full-fledged bully ball. Go ahead and walk away with this championship. Healthy. Healthy.
You got some legitimate points there, man. I said Drummond will help the Lakers. I said it last week, and I stand on that because of his presence he provides on both ends of the basketball court. On the defense, his rim protection, his ability to contest shots, and his ability on offense to get offensive rebounds, and he can give you an easier bucket. Here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. I'm not going to go on the limb and say it's a 1,000% lock, like we're going to talk about in a sec. But I want to know how is it going to work with LeBron, and how we know LeBron likes to clear it out and he likes to spread the floor. How would the offense flow when LeBron and Drummond is on the floor? How would it flow when LeBron, Drummond, and AD is on the floor? Those are some unanswered questions. I'm not going to just say it's an automatic lock. It's an automatic championship. I think they're going to have to figure out their flow. I think I do agree with bully basketball. And I feel like they can have the edge on a lot of teams by getting teams in foul troubles, because you got two elite 7-footers. Got two elite 7-footers who play differently, but who can get a bucket when they have to and when they need a bucket if they want to. They can do that. And now you got LeBron. Now, I really think Drummond is going to help them out defensively, because now you got LeBron James, you got Anthony Davis, and you got Drummond. Three dudes who are some shot blockers and some rim protectors. And every blue moon, you got Montrezl Harrell. He's an undersized defender, but he is a goer. He is a motor. He has a motor on him. And every blue moon, you get some high defensive plays from him. Okay? So now you got inside presence. Now what you got to worry about is just people shooting from the outside, and you got to live with that. Live with jumpers. Don't live with easy buckets in the paint. And if you can control the paint and you can control the game and make it one possessions, and they're not getting additional attempts, then any team that plays them is going to be in trouble. I like the addition to the Lakers, the adding Drummond, but I just don't know how it's going to work. You got LeBron ankle. He should be all right, but AD calf, that is the major thing that we have to follow. How will AD come back? And I think that helps him, because now he don't have to do as much of that load of being in the paint, being that bruiser. But you know what they can do, and it's sick and toxic, and they do it in 2K when you get like two sort of like post scorers on a twos court, and you're backing somebody down who's a baby, and you're throwing a lob up to the other big man, and it's just cheese. They can cheese if they want to. It can be the AD and Drummond attack. It can be something crazy because now AD can pass the basketball and he can create as well. And Drummond can feed and eat and catch a lot of lobs and eat potatoes, shrimp, chicken, anything he wants. Like Shaq said, barbecue chicken. It could be that in LA. I just got to see it. It's going to be interesting to see. But moving on to the next topic, we got Jenny Buss. Said she want all the smoke.
That's my owner.
And you know what? I like this. She said, hey, bring it on. We love that they did what they did. It brings out the Mamba mentality of our franchise. We want it, bring it on. So now with these two acquisitions, it's the Lakers and the Nets automatic NBA Finals locked. I know everybody wants to see it. Everybody's talking about it. It's the Lakers and the Nets automatic.
Hey, listen, man. First, shout out to Jeannie Buss because she's a member of that Talk Nation with that statement right there. She came out with that hot fire. She like all the smoke. I like Jenny because that's what the late great Dr. Jim Buss was. He was with all the smoke. He didn't let the Celtics get better without getting better. That's why he was like, okay, Magic and Kareem, cool, but look at the Celtics. Man, they got Bird, McHale, Parrish, Walton, Dennis Johnson. So what did Buss go do? Oh, let me go draft James Worthy. Oh, let me add Bob McAdoo. You feel me? Let me make sure we got Michael Cool. That's what the Lakers is about. Anytime the league decided they want to move the needle, what the Lakers do? They move the needle. Jordan started getting good with the Bulls. What the Lakers do? They went and got Shaq and Kobe. Jordan leave, Shaq and Kobe take off. LeBron and them start getting good and doing all that good stuff. What the Lakers do? They add Pau Gasol to go with Kobe. Lakers struggle for a little bit. What they gonna do? They gonna get LeBron and AD. So the history of the Lakers shows when smoke is starting to be presented in the NBA, we the fire extinguisher because we don't add to that. That's just what they do. So when we're looking at this quote unquote finals preview that everybody wants, I'm more convinced on the Lakers barring health. Long as they're healthy, when's the last time LeBron lost a game before the finals fully healthy? Lost a series. When's the last time LeBron lost a series when he's in the playoffs going to the finals?
I don't know. It's been like, 10 years, 12 years?
Been a long time. So only time he's lost a series has been in the finals. Anything prior to that, when that man gets to the playoffs, ain't nobody beat that man 4 out of 7 since he lost to the Magic before he went to Miami. That was the last time.
That's crazy.
Anytime that man been in the playoffs, he's been in the finals after that. Except when he was hurt with the Lakers. When he got hurt.
That is crazy.
So, if I'm looking at it and I'm banking on something, it's kind of like the Tom Brady effect. You have to bank on him being there. So just off pure stats, you got to bank on. The man ain't missed a fight since he was 28. He's 36 now or 38. They're however old. The man is old and he ain't. That's all he do is go to the finals. So I got to give it to the Lakers because LeBron James just goes to the finals. What happens in the finals is totally different story, but I got to put them in the finals because they got LeBron James. So we go. That's how I got to look at that. The road may be difficult. So I see a few 7-game series, maybe a 6 in there. So I'm not going to say they're about to just go in there and get through everybody, but they're going to be there. Now we look at the East. Do the Nets have an answer for Joel Embiid?
That's a good question.
Because when I'm looking at these teams match up, the 76ers have the perfect team for both the Lakers and the Nets.
Yes, they do.
The 76ers have the perfect team for both the Lakers and the Nets. That's the team I fear more. I don't fear the Nets because I feel like the Nets don't really have an answer for Anthony Davis. The Nets won't have an answer for Andre Drummond. You're just going to beat them up. You got all that cute perimeter stuff. But when it comes down to it, these late possession games, we need an easy bucket. And what did you say? The Lakers go to full cheese mode. Just full cheese. Because what happens is if the Nets have to play big against the Lakers, that means now you just going to be relying on everybody having to so it's going to be coming to a one-on-one game. It's going to be Aldridge against Drummond, Blake against AD, KD against LeBron. Then you got KCP against Harden, and then Schroeder against Kyrie. But I like the Lakers' front court better than I like the back court of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of how I feel. So I can't pencil the Nets in because I feel like fully healthy, the Sixers are an issue for both teams. A serious issue. The Lakers have solved some of their issue with them because they added Drummond. Drummond can bang with Embiid a little bit more. I still like Embiid over Drummond, but I feel like Drummond gives them a better chance versus the Nets. Drummond is going to chew LaMarcus Aldridge up. Drummond will kill Blake. Embiid will kill Aldridge. He will kill Blake. So DeAndre Jordan, you feel me? And so the Sixers can line up and put Ben Simmons on James Harden and say, deal with that, Mr. Harden. Because to me, Ben Simmons is a defensive player of the year candidate.
I think they put him on KD if I'm them.
No. I go Simmons on Harden because I need Simmons is quick enough and big enough to make it hard for Harden because that's their point guard. You put Tobias Harris on KD. KD gonna get his buckets regardless. But Tobias Harris is strong enough, tall enough to contend and compete. Then you alternate on Kyrie with Seth, Danny Green, and Maurice Thybulle.
They got. That's a tough. Hey, you making some valid points, bro.
That's all I'm saying. Against the Lakers, the Sixers are a little bit different because they would have to try to put Ben on LeBron. LeBron's game does not. LeBron's game, he's not a dribbler like that. So Ben Simmons don't affect LeBron as much because it just become a battle of who's stronger and who's bigger, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then Tobias against AD, again, it's not real perimeter orientated. AD a little bit bigger than Tobias. So, like, the Lakers can kind of win that matchup. And then the backcourt is a backcourt, and, who's just going to show up in that situation because the Sixers just had a great game against the Lakers. So that's kind of how I look at it. I'm still not counting out the Bucks because quiet is kept. I think the Bucks, outside losing the Clippers, it was on like a 9-game win streak.
Yeah.
And, the Bucks is still formidable. Adding PJ Tucker gives them more people to guard with Drew Holiday because now you putting Drew Holiday right on you put Drew Holiday on Harden. Mm-hmm. We know what Drew Holiday's capable of. I've seen Drew Holiday lock up Dame and CJ in one series by himself. Mm-hmm. Put both of them dudes on clamps. Then you could put Chris Middleton on Harden, put Holiday on Kyrie, and then PJ Tucker could be a pest for KD. You feel me? He gonna get his bucket. He can be a pest. And then you got Giannis guarding Blake or Aldridge. However you want to do that. You feel me? So the Bucks, the Nets are scary, but the East has a couple of teams that give them problems. Only problem is the East, the Lakers have the antidote for the East just because of the skill set of the Lakers players, of their main players. And that's kind of how I look at it. So Lakers are in, barring health. The East, I got to let it play out.
You know what? You got valid points. Only thing I would say,
I do my homework.
Only thing I would say is that I don't think none of them are a lock. I think that both the Lakers and the Nets got some teams that they got to worry about. For sure, Philly for the Nets. If Embiid comes back healthy and he's back to his MVP season, they have a lot of matchup problems. And I know KD going to get his buckets. But again, this is KD coming off a hamstring injury, man. Like, you're not going to be 1,000%. And he's going to be hesitant on exploding because what you do with the hamstring is once you try to explode a little bit too much, boom. I don't want to see it happen, but I'm telling you, he's not going to be 100%. Okay? And so with that, they have matchup problems. I don't know who's going to guard Embiid. They have elite defenders on that team. I just don't know how that's going to play out. That's going to be an amazing series if it does end up working that way. I think the Bucks can compete with them. I don't think the Bucks can beat them, but I definitely think they can compete with them. I just got to figure out how is it going to play out. Giannis still got to do more for me. This Euro step Giannis, it just won't get it done in the playoffs because all they're going to do is shrink the floor and clog up the paint and make you a jump shooter. You haven't worked on that part of your game. You're still playing the way they want you to play instead of playing how you want to play, and you're not advancing your craft. You know, you still fall back into those bad habits of trying to bully ball and play out of control, and you get yourself in trouble and you get charges. You saw it last night against the Clippers. They shortened the paint, and he wasn't getting a lot of possessions, and they struggled. They got beat. They got their butt whipped pretty bad. They got defenders. But again, it's the offensive side for me. I don't think they're going to be able to score enough points. Now, on to the West. The Lakers got trouble, okay? I don't want to say – I feel like Denver is going to be in that conversation. Adding to Aaron Gordon makes them a tough team. They have depth. They have size, and they have players that can score that basketball. I get it. AD and Drummond and LeBron are some great, skillful, some of the best to play this game. But I'm not going to knock Denver. Denver was in the Western Conference Finals, and they are going to be in that contention yet again. Okay, the Clippers. I would never disrespect Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. Okay, they have a point guard now, and so I can't wait to see them all playing healthy. I want to see all teams play healthy, and I want to really – that's when I really can see how it's going to match up. And then we all know the playoffs is always different, but the Clippers always give the Lakers trouble. I think adding Drummond is going to help the Lakers tremendously because now they have two foes. They have two people who can get an interior bucket. And that's going to be tough to stop because the Clippers don't have that much size. They only got Ibaka, and Ibaka can only stick one, AD or Drummond. If you're going to stick Drummond, then AD's going to get his buckets. If you're going to stick AD, then Drummond's going to get his buckets. So I think that they can prevail over the Clippers. That's going to be a tough series, though. It's going to be a tough series because they play them very well. We know that. Now, everybody is disrespecting the Utah Jazz. And I understand they're Utah. They're not playing nobody, but don't sleep on them boys. They're playing fundamental basketball. Don't think that that's going to be a walk in the park. Don't think the Phoenix Suns is going to be a walk in the park. They're the number 2 team in the West for a reason. I don't care if you want to blame it on injuries. They are not sorry. You got people on that team that can play, and they're playing very, very well. They have all the pieces that they need. Maybe if they would have added Aaron Gordon, they would have put them at that top elite level to possibly be in the Western Conference Finals. And then I never want to sleep on Dame time. Dame and Lillard in that squad, if they're healthy, they can compete with anybody in the goddamn West. I don't care who you are. They got scorers. They got elite players on the team. I think their only issue is the defense. They always struggle defensively. But I know offensively, they can outscore you, okay? And then last but not least, you got a dude who's about to be the face of this league very, very soon, Luka Doncic. I think the Lakers can beat the Dallas Mavericks, but Luka is Luka, and he's not going to go without a fight. So there's some teams that's going to make it very, very interesting, and I really feel like it's going to be who they match up with, especially barring all these injuries and what the seedings and where they're going to be. I don't know if they're going to be a 4, a 3, a 5, a 6. All this matters on who you match up with. They could be the favorite, but AD's coming off an injury. I don't know how he's going to play coming off that calf injury. He's not going to be 1,000%. So I think they're going to work his way back into there eventually. But I wouldn't say the Lakers are a lock yet. I dang sure ain't going to say Brooklyn is a lock yet. I think they are highly potential candidates to making the NBA Finals, but they got some work to do. And none of the teams, not the Nets or the Lakers, have had full strength. So we don't know how they're going to play when they get to it. Probably don't work. It probably don't work for both of them. Again, I keep trying to tell people, when you add too much, usually we see it every single time when you're in the chip, too much can be the wrong answer to your solution, right? And we see it a lot of times that when you got too many superstars, you lose. And you're like, how did they lose? How did they lose? Because you played against a better team that plays well together. Y'all got all the superstars, but the better team sometimes win. That's how it be. But before we get out of here, I need to say this hot take, and I need to say this. I don't care if they don't agree with it or not, but I'm sick and tired of everybody constantly doing this to this man. This man, every time he goes to the playoffs, he's in the finals. It's always going to be LeBron got to do this to be the GOAT. LeBron got to do that to solidify himself. I am so done and tired of all this solidifying his career. He has done so many things that your boy Mike, your boy Kobe ain't did. And it's hard to do. You cannot say somebody that gets to the playoffs and goes to the chip on a consistent basis. You can't, now even if he lose, he gets there. He gets to the playoffs and damn near undefeated in the last 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. And if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have took that team to the NBA Finals. But damn, no, we don't know. But stop disrespecting this man. This man always, it is, and I hate this. LeBron got to win another one. LeBron got to do this. LeBron got to do that. LeBron got to do this if he want to be the GOAT. The man on damn near every damn statistical list. The man has got 4 rings. He got 4 MVPs. Okay, he don't get 5 or 6. Who cares at the end of the day? What he's done has solidified his career already. But y'all keep giving this damn supposedly title to Kevin Durant. And it's no disrespect to the tarantula or the durantula. But look at all his situations that he's went to. When Kevin Durant was the guy, he failed. He failed. But when he go to Golden State, he the best player on the team. All that boy got to do is score buckets. All he got to do is play with the best shooter to ever play the game and score buckets. Oh, now he going to Brooklyn. He couldn't do it with Kyrie only. What did he do? He had James Harden. No, what else did he do? He got Blake Griffin. What else did he do? LaMarcus Aldridge. He did damn near created a super team. A super team. And y'all still gonna get this man this whole credit. Y'all got the nerve to say it's LeBron's fault. It's LeBron's fault. Everything is LeBron. I guess that's when you know you the GOAT. They always try to find something to bring you down because they hate seeing you on top. Put some respect on this man's name, man. 36 years old, playing at a high level. Damn near was the MVP of this league. Especially after Embiid, if he didn't get hurt, we'd be talking about LeBron James, another MVP. He's only getting better. So stop. Stop with the nonsense, bro. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm tired of y'all keep disrespecting this man, dog. Y'all put all these other players who have these easy roads and you put them on a pedestal as the greatest. They ain't did half the stuff this man has did. Put Kevin Durant on that Cleveland Cavaliers team. Tell me how many games they win in the playoff. Tell me if they make it to the NBA Finals. You tell me that. You tell me that. And then I may agree. I'm done.
What you got to say? What you got to say? You want to add in? Huh? No? You have nothing to say about the situation?
He looking at me like, man, Uncle Daddy was going crazy. Uncle Daddy was going crazy. He was going crazy. Like, man, that boy mad. But anyway, man, you know what I'm saying? We're about to get up out of here. What you got to say before we get up out of here, Reasons, man?
Hey, man, listen. That was a beautiful take. You feel me? I understand where you're coming from when it comes to LeBron and how they view the man and how the league is different and how things go. I feel like when you look at a LeBron and you look at a Jordan and you look at a Kobe, I feel like they did it their way.
Facts.
And then all others have started to have to copy to duplicate it. So right. You look at it like Steph, before adding KD, they did it their way.
Right.
And you respected that because it was like, ooh, okay, this was a drafted team that just grew and then became great. And so they win a championship, they go 73-9, and then they lose, and it's like, oh man, LeBron is great, so we need to add more to make sure we secure the bag again. And it's like, nah, just do it your way. You feel me, KD? You was up 3-1. You had been to the finals with Russ and Harden. You know, unfortunately, you got hurt in the playoffs, and another year, Russ got hurt in the playoffs. But when you up 3-1, you gotta seal that deal as the number one guy. But you couldn't. Now you in Brooklyn, and it's like, yeah, James Harden wanted to come to Brooklyn. But I remember a tweet back in 2010, Mr. Kevin Durant, that you said, man, everybody want to join the Heat and the Lakers. What happened to us competing? That was his tweet. I'm never going to let that man lay that tweet down. Because, yeah, it's like, oh, times have changed. Nah, bruh. Stay back to your morals. That's why I mess with Dame Lillard. Because Dame is like, I'm going to do it my way. If I win a chip, I win a chip. If I don't, I don't. You still got to put some respect on my name.
Right.
But I did it my way. And so, you know, shout out to Bank and his hot take.
Yeah, man, I'm just tired of it. They keep disrespecting this man, dog. It's always something he got to do. And they always do it for the show, and I get it. It's for the views. It's a hot take. But at the end of the day, man, stop ridiculing this man, dude. He's done so much on the court and off the court for this game, man, and for all these players. Y'all got to stop disrespecting this man. He already paid homage to Kobe, to Jordan. At the end of the day, man, he said it. Let that man be great. Let him play the game the way he want to play the game, man. And stop trying to find every little shit to try to bring this man down, man. It's just getting annoying. And y'all and it's no disrespect to Kevin Durant. I like Kevin Durant, but I'm just tired of they put Kevin Durant on this pedestal like he's the best player ever in this game, but he didn't have damn near every best situation, bro. He's playing with two of the most elite scorers to ever play in OKC, walking triple-double. The man, James Harden, who's one of the elitist scorers. Now he's on the team. He played with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. And now he's playing with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Blake Griffin. And come on, man. Come on, bro. Let's call a spade, bro. Let's call a spade. And here's the thing that's different. He's playing with these players in their prime. LeBron is playing with these players when they're in their downward in their prime, older. He didn't play with no young flash. The only person he playing with that's young is Anthony Davis and Drummond. It's the first time in a while since last year he's played with a superstar that's young in their prime. Come on, man. He's played with Kyrie. He played with the headache Kyrie that I want to do it my way Kyrie, not the mature Kyrie. You get what I'm saying? So let's call a spade, man. Come on, man. But anyway, man, we're about to get up out of here, man. Y'all let us know in the comments below, how do y'all feel about these acquisitions? Do y'all think the Lakers and the Nets are a lock? And if not, who's the team that can beat these two teams? Who can give them the biggest problems? I would love to know in the comments below. We're back on football for sure. I promise you on Thursday, we will be coming back with some football news. We got a lot to talk about. NFL adding 17 games, all that good stuff. But without further ado, always remember to stay safe, stay blessed, and to talk that talk.
And be sure, man, to check out the More Than a Baby podcast. It's on my social media platforms. My man Jackson right here giving his hot takes of the NBA and football season. More Than a Baby podcast.
All right, y'all. Y'all stay up. Peace.